Hello everyone, my name is Salvo La Rosa. I'm the Chief Scientific Officer of the Kidney Cancer Association. Thank you to OncoAlert for the opportunity to present today. Over the next few minutes, I'll share a short update on the kidney cancer landscape, where we are, what challenges we're facing, and how the Kidney Cancer Association is working to accelerate progress. Let's start with the latest statistics. These are the most recent kidney and renal pelvis cancer statistics released by the American Cancer Society. And what stands out is that these numbers haven't changed dramatically compared with last year. The overall 5-year survival across all stages is around 79%. For patients diagnosed with localized disease, the 5-year relative survival remains high, around 93%. But the biggest unmet need is still advanced disease. For patients diagnosed with distant metastatic kidney cancer, the 5-year relative survival is around 19%. That gap is exactly why innovation is still urgently needed in therapies, biomarkers, clinical trials, and care delivery. Now, that clinical need is happening in a difficult funding environment. One of the biggest stories of 2025 has been the kidney cancer funding crisis. It's been across all different research landscape, and is a real threat to innovation. Let me mention 2 changes that have had a major impact. First, CDMRP funding for kidney cancer research dropped from a robust $50 million per year to 0. Second, NCI paylines reached historic lows, down to around 4 percentile this fiscal year. But there is another part of this crisis that's just as concerning. A meaningful share of the CDMRP portfolio supported the development of early career researchers and physician scientists. And when that support drops, it doesn't just slow projects, it weakens the pipeline. It affects recruitment and retention, and it risks slowing progress for years. This is exactly why organizations like the KCA matter. The Kidney Cancer Association was founded in the 1990s. And our work is organized around 4 core pillars. First, we support and empower patients with trusted education and resources. Second, we educate and connect the international community largely through our major scientific meetings. Third, we support innovative investigators through annual research grants programs. And fourth, we advance working with peer organizations to ensure kidney cancer remains a national priority. These are many ways to engage with KCA through, partnership, participation, fundraising, and advocacy. But today, I will focus only on a few representative examples of the education and research programs we run to give you a practical sense of how we support the community. Let's start with education. The International Kidney Cancer Symposium conferences, or IKCS, are our signature events. We've been organizing these meetings for nearly 2 decades. They bring together clinicians, researchers, trainees, patient advocates, industry, and partners from across the global kidney cancer ecosystem. Across North America and Europe, we routinely receive over 100 abstracts and posters, and we offer CME credits. But what makes IKCS especially valuable is that it's not only about reviewing the literature and digesting data. These meetings are working environments. They help the community identify challenges, share practical solutions, and shape what comes next. And a quick plug, please save the date for IKCS Europe in Paris, April 16 to 18, and IKCS North America in Dallas later this year. Now, here is a practical example of how IKCS meetings help shaping the scientific conversation. And that brings me to one of our most impactful scientific platforms, the KCA think tank meetings. Think tanks benefit from the gathering of global kidney cancer experts during IKCS to address clinical challenges, build consensus, and set priorities for future research. And importantly, these are not just theoretical discussions. They produce tangible outputs, publication frameworks, and recommendations on the field. Recent think tanks-driven topics have included the future of digital pathology, the impact of post-progression therapy on overall survival, consensus recommendation on biomarker development and risk stratification, and expert pathways for research in adjuvant therapy, among others. We continuously refresh think tank teams and bring in new topics and new leaders to keep this work timely and actionable. And of course, convening experts is crucial, but we also need to disseminate education to patients. KCA partnered with leading institutions to host in-person patients education symposia. These events bring practical, trustworthy information directly to patients and caregivers. And they also strengthen the bridge between the clinic, research, and patients' needs. We've been partnering with centers like the Moffitt, Ohio State, UNC, Duke, among others. And if your clinic or institution is interested in hosting a patient education symposium, we'll welcome that conversation. And of course, education is crucial, but we also need direct investments in research. Research support is central to KCA's mission. Since 1995, we have invested around $7.5 million across 85 grants, supporting more than 75 investigators and contributing to nearly 100 scientific publications. We also amplify our impact through partnerships and co-funding models, working with peer funders and organizations to support more science than we could alone. In addition to traditional grant making, we always look at how we can innovate and bring cutting-edge tools in the hands of researchers. One example is our collaboration with Tempus AI, which allows researchers to validate a hypothesis using a large clinical and genomic cohort. Multiple research teams have already used this mechanism, and importantly, this collaboration are not exclusive. Anyone can submit a proposal to validate a hypothesis through this resource. Looking ahead, the 2026 grant cycle will be announced in early February, with applications opening in March. Next, I want to highlight an example of an ad hoc scientific initiative designed to accelerate translations. In 2025, KCA launched the first RCC animal model workshop in collaboration with UT Southwestern Medical Center. This workshop brought together experts who have developed and advanced the models the field relies on, including genetically engineered mouse models, patient-derived models such as PDX and organoids, and humanized models. The models were characterized, classified, and evaluated through multiple lenses: validation, biology, use cases, and translational readiness. The goal was simple: to accelerate the path to the clinic by strengthening how we select and apply models for effective testing. Finally, none of this is sustainable without investing in the next generation. We have made workforce development a major priority. We do this through two main tracks. First, the KCA Mentorship Academy, including a rare kidney cancer track through the Dr. Nizar Tanir Rare Kidney Cancer Scholar Program. This supports early career clinicians through a structured year-long mentorship experience, with didactic lectures, attendance at meetings, opportunity to speak and present, and in some cases, direct shadowing at mentors' institutions. Second, our Women in RCC program, which supports community building and networking, and also offer professional coaching through small group virtual sessions, specialized training, and resources that reach an international audience. Both programs will reopen in 2026 for applications. So, to close, here's the big picture. This is a challenging moment for the field, clinically, financially, and strategically. But it is also a moment where alignment and action can make a measurable difference. The KCA is here to connect the community, fund innovation, expand patient education, and strengthen the pipeline of future kidney cancer leaders. We invite you to join us across all of these projects and initiatives in 2026, starting from the upcoming IKCS Europe Conference in Paris. Thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to take any questions.